All right, we meet again today. It's my hope that you had a good day. We are here again to enlighten you on what is in the world of news. It's always a pleasure doing this. Karibu sana to TV47 Weekend Edition, and by extension, Hase will be getting to let you know what we'll have later on, that is on the discussion. But at this very point, it's important that, of course, again, we look at what is making headlines. My name is Linda Alela. On the sign language interpreter's side, we'll be having Kelvin Makori. Here are the highlights. On TV47 Weekend Edition, Bishop Peter Kimani is installed as the new leader of the Diocese of Embu. But the ceremony takes on political weight as President William Ruto, recently rebuked by Catholic bishops, adopts a notably humbler tone, signaling a shift in his approach. The Embu installation becomes a political stage. President Ruto, former President Uhuru Kenyatta, and new Deputy President Kithure Kindiki share the spotlight, while former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua looks on. A rare quiet moment of political unity and just how quickly things can change. And the tragic death of 3-year-old Diana Chepngeno, allegedly due to negligent medical care after a bee attack in Longisa, sparks an outcry. All right, and later on Hase will be hosting, that is the PS for State Department, that is on Culture, the Arts and Heritage, Ministry of Gender, Culture, the Arts and Heritage in the Republic of Kenya. She highlights the progress in the different dockets that she holds, that is under that office, highlighting just what the office is doing in terms of making sure that they help advance the agenda of the women that are marginalized in the country. There's so much to eat, and we'll be getting to eat later on. It's important to note that the sitting we had some time back while in Kwale, and of course we get to hear just what plans are underway for the ladies and basically the country. So karibu sana to eat. Allow us to get to the news stories of the day. As always, the hashtag is Hase. And now tonight, President William Ruto, his predecessor Uhuru Kenyatta, and impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua were in the same event in Embu in a rare meeting during the installation of Embu Catholic Bishop Peter Kimani, that is in Embu once again. President William Ruto using the church event to strike a reconciliatory tone with Catholic bishops, saying that he will address their concerns regarding his administration. And as Apollo Kamau now reports, President Uhuru Kenyatta urged leaders to shun tribal politics and unite Kenyans.
The consecration and installation of Embu Catholic Bishop Peter Kimani brought together the country's top leadership, notably President William Ruto, his predecessor Uhuru Kenyatta, new Deputy President Kithure Kindiki, and impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, a few weeks after the sensational impeachment of Gachagua that has impacted the country's political landscape.
I would also like at this moment also to recognize our former Deputy President, who is also here. Thank you.
The church event in Embu, in the populous Mount Kenya region, saw Uhuru and Gachagua warmly received, despite Ruto and his predecessor avoiding Gachagua, who was sitting a few feet away, accompanied by his allies. President Ruto attended the second Catholic Church event in a span of 2 days, this time striking a reconciliatory tone with Catholic bishops, saying he will address their concerns after a stinging criticism on the performance of his administration, which they said has let down Kenyans. Ruto's reference to the stunned comments he made yesterday drew murmurs from the crowd, and then his light-hearted reference to kusalimiwa triggered laughter from the congregation.
Vilevile, katika mambo ya matibabu, jana tumezungumza mambo ya matibabu ya universal health coverage. Hata mimi nikitoka hapa saa hizi, mimi nitapitia kwa hospitali, na juzi nilipata salamu kutoka maaskofu wetu ya barua. Mimi nataka niwahakikishia Wakenya na niwahakikishia wa maaskofu wetu, vile wametusahihisha kwamba kuna makosa hapa na pale, hiyo makosa tutarekebisha, kwa sababu universal health coverage is a must do, because indeed it will make the difference and make sure no citizen is left behind.
The country's fourth president, Uhuru Kenyatta, cut an elder statesman figure in the church event and shared light moments with Ruto and Kindiki. And when he stood to address the attendees, he urged leaders to shun divisive tribal politics and unite Kenyans.
Najua mimi sasa siku hizi mimi sina mastori mingi. Mimi naangalianga tu TV. Tuombee nchi yetu. Tuombee amani. Tuombee uwiano kati ya viongozi na wananchi. Tuache mambo ya ukabila na tupendane. Sisi wote ni wa Kenya. Na Kenya haiwezi kufaulu watu wakiwa na utengemano, wakiwa watupiana maneno, wakiwa hawaheshimiani. Vile tumesema bishopu wa waheshimu, nyinyi mutarudisha hiyo. So viongozi pia muheshimu wananchi na watarudisha hiyo heshima.
Tunatamani maombi ya kanisa na watu wote wa imani, ili nchi yetu iendelee kuwa na umoja, na nchi yetu ikuwe thabiti, ikuwe salama, na ikuwe mahali pema kwetu sisi zote kuishi bila matatizo.
President Ruto assuring former President Uhuru that his administration has carried on his former administration's projects, among them affordable housing, universal health care, the competency-based curriculum, an agenda he said he is committed to deliver for the benefit of Kenyans.
Nimwambie kiongozi wetu aliyestaafu Rais Uhuru Kenyatta, ile kazi uliniwachia mimi nang'ang'ana nayo mbaya sana. Nasukuma kusukuma.
Interestingly, there was a temporary lapse of protocol after confusion arose on who was to introduce the former president, Embu Governor Cecily Mbarire or Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki. Well, the hitch was unhitched, and DP Kindiki introduced ex-President Uhuru and later President Ruto. Apol Kamau, TV47.
All right, and of course, taking to check the updates on that. But again, we proceed with the same story where Bishop Peter Kimani has officially been installed as the new Bishop of Embu Diocese following a colorful ceremony held today in Embu County. The event, attended by high-profile leaders and influential figures, saw the presence of Pope Francis' representative, Bishop Curatus, that is Matthews, Marian Van Meegen, who urged Bishop Kimani to serve all Kenyans impartially without favoring any particular region. Prior to this appointment, Bishop Kimani served as the chaplain of Kenya prisons in the Archdiocese of Nairobi.
In a colorful and historic event in Embu County, Bishop Peter Kimani was formally installed as the new Bishop of Embu. The ceremony was graced by influential leaders and bishops from across the country, making it a significant moment for the diocese. Bishop Hubertus Matthews Maria Van Meegen, representing Pope Francis, encouraged Bishop Kimani to lead the diocese with biblical guidance, emphasizing impartiality in his service to the people.
Tomorrow you could be sent far away from here. Today it's Mount Kenya. Tomorrow it could be Mount Elgon. Actually, first and foremost, you should identify with those who are less known to you.
According to former President Uhuru Kenyatta, who shares a close relationship with Bishop Kimani, the new bishop is a leader committed to social justice and to serving the people with compassion and integrity.
Mtu mpole, mtu wa heshima, mtu ambaye ana utu, na mimi sina shaka wenzangu wa Embu mmepata kiongozi ambaye atakuwa mtu wa kuchunga masilahi ya wale ambaye anaongoza.
Bishop Kimani is known for his active involvement in social justice and community development. His appointment comes at a time when the government led by President William Ruto is facing a strained relations with the church, particularly on issues concerning leadership and governance.
To serve the people holistically and in solidarity for the good of all. So let us embrace each other in this area and focus on this common purpose through listening to each other and also discerning what God wants us to do together.
Bishop Kimani succeeds Bishop Paul Kariuki as the new Bishop of Embu. His leadership is expected to strengthen the church's mission in this vibrant diocese. In August of this year, Pope Francis appointed Reverend Wallace Nganga as Bishop of the Military Ordinariate, while Bishop Peter Kimani was appointed as Bishop of Embu. Paul Kirobi, TV47.
From that, Diana Chip Ngeno, a 3-year-old that died in what is believed to be a case of medical negligence and clear circumstances at the Longisa Level 4 hospital, has been laid to rest as the family calls for justice and action against the medics. Elizabeth Atieno with the details.
A somber mood engulfed this homestead in Koitabai village in Bomet East, where the late Diana Chepngeno was laid to rest. Chepngeno is a 3-year-old girl whose life was cut short while seeking treatment at the Longisa Referral Hospital just hours after she was stung by bees alongside 3 other children on the 11th of November. Different stakeholders have continued to demand for action from the county government following the incident of alleged medical negligence and criticizing the Bomet County government over their silence on the matter.
Longisa ilikuwa na maneno mingi hospitali. Na hiyo shida lazima tutatue. It is very unfortunate. Hii lazima tusaidie watu wetu. Na tutawaachilia namna hiyo.
NAT Bomet Branch Secretary General Desmond Langat says the teachers in the county are disappointed by the fact that till now no action has been taken. Langat calling on Bomet Governor Hilary Barchok to up his game and act accordingly in connection to the matter.
What has happened after losing a life of a child? No action has been taken. And we don't want stories about ABCD. We want action, and the county government of Bomet to take serious steps and make sure that those who were in the facility during that day to take their responsibility with immediate effect.
However, on the 13th of November 2024, Bomet Governor Hilary Barchok announced new changes in the leadership of Longisa County Referral Hospital in a bid to improve service delivery. In a statement, the governor stated Dr. Bernard Sowek will now take over as the County Director of Health and appointed Dr. Ronald Kibet as the medical superintendent at the Longisa Referral Hospital. Julius Mugut is now in charge of clinical officers, while Dr. Andrew Cheriot has been reassigned to special clinics. Elizabeth Atieno, TV47.
And now, a 27-year-old woman, Consolata Nyangai, is currently missing after allegedly being abducted by individuals claiming to be DCI officers last Thursday. She was taken from her home in the Hunters area of Kasarani, Nairobi County. Her family, speaking to our reporter Ruga Ival, has expressed deep anguish as they have been unable to locate her after more than 72 hours searching.
The toll of more than 72 hours spent searching for Consolata Nyangai has weighed heavily on her family. They remain desperate for answers after her abduction last Thursday by individuals who identified themselves as DCI officers. The 27-year-old woman was taken from her home in Kasarani, leaving her family in shock and fear.
It was on 14th. Yeah. That's the last time we had a call. Then she was like, give me a minute, then I'll call you back. That's the time she went missing up to now. At around 7, I was concerned. Then I was like, let me go and check on her. That was in Kasarani 15th Street. That's the time now going checking on her. Maid told me that she has gone missing, whereby there are 4 people, unknown people. They came and picked her. Then they picked the screen. That was a TV Smart with electric gas cooker.
Amos Kipsang, who works as a personal assistant to Kacheliba MP Lotte Titus, has been consumed by worry since his wife's disappearance. In his search for answers, Kipsang has been visiting police stations and DCI offices, hoping for assistance in locating her.
They said they are DCI, but they didn't bring out their let me say job ID. Yeah, because that is the information I got from the people, my neighbors, and also the maid I do stay with. Because even they never wanted to talk to anyone. So the caretaker and the maid is the one who told me this. All Kasarani posts and main stations, police stations, she was not there. I went up to Kasarani DCI station, and so she went missing. I went up to Kileleshwa, Westlands, where she works. She was missing.
Described as kind and reserved, Consolata Nyangai is also known to have faced recent tensions at work. Her husband reveals that she had been threatened several times by her supervisor, which may have contributed to the distressing events leading to her abduction.
I'm suspecting one person. Yeah, I'm suspecting the inspector. I'm suspecting the supervisor of the work, the one Ali Vutwakazi. That's the main person I'm suspecting, because I was like, alisema utanijua mimi nani. So that statement, yeah, utajua mimi nani. So she went missing, and for the past 15 years amekuwa Nairobi. Aje kwa kuna shida yote kama kushikwa ama hajaishikwa maisha yake. So this is the first.
This incident comes amid a rising wave of abductions in Kenya, leaving many with unanswered questions. The last known sighting of Consolata was at her home, where she was dressed in a black dress with her natural African hair. In his appeal to the public, Kipsang urges Kenyans to remain vigilant and help in any way they can.
Let the image is circulating on media. Another thing is that let them help me. Okay, let them help me with the investigation too. If they see the person, or maybe if they see, let me say, something like a cop, please let them respond to any nearby police station. And also to myself is that I'll keep on moving with the investigation, and also the nearby DCI and also DCI body. Yeah, the one I've been contacted. Please let them help me with the investigation so that she can be found.
Ruga Evil, TV47.
We certainly wish them the best as they search for their loved one. Now, a challenge has been issued to the youth to take the lead in embracing the plans of the Kenya Kwanza government and other initiatives which are fashioned to help them advance the living standards and those of others. These sentiments were outlined during the UDA Comrades chapter in Kisii County, where UDA leaders interacted with the youth from the region.
Comrade power is down because some of us came without taking tea.
In Kisii, youth from the broader Southern Nyanza region gathered here for a meeting of the UDA Comrades chapter and the party's leaders.
When you are saying that you've created job opportunities to youths abroad, why can't you create these opportunities in our own country? Why do we have Chinese present in our roads when in truth we have engineers graduating from Kenyan universities each and every year?
The goal of this meeting was to inspire young people to step up and take lead in matters leadership that will bring about changes and improve the overall welfare of the community.
Young people of this country have to say and have to offer so that we can also take the feedback that we are getting here today so that the government can get to know what these comrades want, what they want, and what we need to do for them, because we believe we were elected to serve you people. We are your servants.
Furthermore, the Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, Susan Mangeni, announced strategic plans that the government is implementing to enhance the capacity of young people to start businesses, at the same time urging those with loans from the Hustler Fund to repay them so that they can benefit even more.
Majority of those who have defaulted pia ni vijana. Sasa sijui tutapangana aje. Si mtaniambia vile tupangane. I can see you are making very good proposal on the new funding model. I want you also to make some proposal on how we can enable access to affordable credit so that as you study, you equally work, generate income, and support us in developing our economy. Hiyo ndio niko hapa.
The leaders also expressed their strong support for the government projects, emphasizing that all initiatives are for the benefit of Kenyans and their positive outcomes will soon be evident.
Is affordable housing program where we are increasing densities. The cost of land is very expensive. It is always estimated between 15 to 30% depending on where. Before you think about putting up a house, you need that amount of money, 30% to the cost of the development.
Quinto Wafula, TV47, Kisii.
And the political infighting took center stage during the burial of former Kimilili Member of Parliament Suleiman Murunga, as local politicians from different political persuasions traded jabs over matters like the recent criticism of the government by the Catholic Church and the contentious Shah-NHIF transition. Take a look. All right, and of course we'll be following up on the events of that story to give you updates some more, as of course we take a look at the political infighting across the different parts of the country. Now we have it, let's take a look.
There is a lot of anxiety.
The recent sharp criticism of President Ruto and the Kenya Kwanza government by the Catholic bishops has continued to evoke mixed reactions in the country. Leaders from all factions clashed today at the funeral ceremony of former Kimilili Member of Parliament Suleiman Murunga in Bungoma County, with one of the sentiments emerging from the clash being a call for religious leaders and the government to embrace dialogue.
The church has spoken. Na mimi naomba kanisa work with the president. If you see there's any problem, please sit together.
Maaskofu wamesema inatumia uongo zaidi, iko ukabila mwingi, iko ufisadi mwingi.
Tunaona viongozi sasa wenye wanakashifu calling out the government. They were so quiet when paper was being auctioned.
Several leaders have called upon the government to do away with the new health insurance chief, saying that Kenyans are suffering to access medication in the country.
Mheshimiwa Waziri wa Afya, wewe rudi kwa drawing board, ukae na watu wako, mpangane kwa ministry, wananchi wetu wanaumia. Tumeleta hii maneno ya SHA kwa sababu tuko na transition, proper transition. Ndio hii imeleta shida, watu wetu wanaumia.
Kwa nini wanalazimishia wananchi kuhadhiri NHIF? Hata kama ilikuwa na changamoto, kwa nini itarekebishwa?
Bungoma County Governor Kenneth Lusaka on his part scoffed at MPs for alleged hypocrisy, reminding them that the new health care system would not have happened without Parliament's input.
It was voted for by members of Parliament. Sasa ukikuja hapa useme ni mbaya, why did you vote for it? So lazima tuambie watu wetu ukweli.
The late Suleiman Murunga has rested at 75 years of age, and he was eulogized as a statesman who served with diligence.
Alifanya kazi kwa ustadi, kwa uaminifu. Na Waislamu tunawashukuru sana kwa kukubali kumix maadili ya Kiislamu na maadili ya dini yetu na mila zetu. Nataka niambie Mheshimiwa Spika wa Wetangula, vile niambia Rigiji, ukiona mwenzako ananyolewa kichwa chako tia nini? Yale matamshi ambayo inaendeshwa na watu kwamba vile tumefukuza Rigiji, sijui tunakuja kufukuza Spika Moses Wetangula, hiyo ni mitina ya wagoyo ambayo ndio ndoto ya mtana, haiwezi ikatendeka Kenya hii yetu. Mathematics ya Kenya sahi, there's no way you can destabilize Central and Western and win. unacheza kibasi pia. You can't.
Wanji Sustain, TV47, Bungoma.
For politicians, any stage is a political stage. May Murunga's soul rest in eternal peace. Now, the family of Vincent Anzala, who died and was buried in Somalia under mysterious circumstances, is seeking assistance to repatriate his body for a traditional burial. The 62-year-old had arrived in Somalia just a week before his death.
The heartbreaking news of the passing of 62-year-old Vincent Anzala, the breadwinner of his family, has left the family in distress and utter shock. The family, which hails from Murumba village in Lurambe sub-county, Kakamega County, say they received a call informing them not only of the sudden death of their kin, but also of his burial.
Kuanzia Jumatatu, Jumanne na Jumatano. Kufika Alhamisi ndo ananipigia simu jioni saa 2 ya usiku ati mzee amelala.
The family, led by his wife, Tepla Anzala, says the deceased was working in Nairobi as a laundryman and was shocked to learn that he had traveled to Somalia.
Nimejaribu kufuatilia, wanipe mwili yangu, wamekatalia.
Kawaida kutoka tu kitambo, Anzala kasi yake ilikuanga ya utopi. Hii mashini ya topi yeye anajua kuioperate. Sasa sisi tukashangaa na Somalia alifikaje? Huyo mwenye ako Isilia akatuambia mwenye anataka akuja nimpeleke penye kaburi iko.
The deceased children, Virginia Shamsa and Dominic Kumbo, recounts their last encounter with their late father.
Nikatumiwa picha eti baba amefanya nini, amekufa. Na that time alikuwa amesema ana travel akufike Kenya on Saturday. Hata akanitext kwa WhatsApp. Akaniambia nitafika niwatumie fare mkuje na wajukuu. Mwisho nikapata simu kutoka nyumbani baba ashakufa.
The family is now calling upon the government for assistance to have the body of their deceased kin brought back home for a befitting burial according to their traditions.
Kulingana na kimila yetu, sisi wazee hawasikingi nje. Ukiwa na shamba mpaka ulale kwa mlango yako. Kama alimpepa kama msiko, mimi sijui. Tena amrudishe tu kama msiko. Sisi tusika hapa hata kama ako kwa hali mbaya.
Ruto, kama inawezekana bakusaidie tufuatilie hiyo mwili bakuletee hapa. Itoke huko hata kama naleta Nairobi. Tunaweza chukulia hapo tukuje tusike. Mila yetu atusiku nje.
Reporting for TV47, I'm Violet Auma.
All right, well, from that sad story, we lighten up the evening a bit by just, taking a look at this phenomenal occurrence that played out today, courtesy of the initiative by the former second lady, that is Mama Dorcas Rigathi, where at least we witnessed the 80 police officers actually, tying the knots and officiating their marriages to their loved ones. Let's take a look at that.
Every vice, over every debauchery, over every immorality. Za ilahi si mwaka moja na si miaka 5 na si miaka 10.
Wanaenda wanaongea na wazazi wakimaliza tunawasaidia kupata hizo cheti katika Attorney General, tunawasaidia wanaendelea kufanya hiyo mikakati ya kupatiwa na ruhusa, gazettement na nini. Ile tu tunawaambia wafanye ni kununulia bibi pete na nguo.
So it's a very good plan and we pray that tuendelee hivyo
kusaidia sisi tuweze kupata hii harusi, na naomba Kenya hii program iendelee.
Kwa majina naitwa Helen Simiyu. Enda transfer mahali wakumbuke mabibi, wasiache mabibi zao. Wakumbuke mabibi zao.
Kwa mwanaume anakuwa anaishi mahali pengine na familia inaishi sehemu nyingine, labda kwa sababu ya uhaba wa nyumba zinakuwa ni chache. Sasa wakitengeneza nyumba, wakitujengea nyumba, familia inaweza kaa kwa pamoja vizuri.
Kuna hizo recommendation ya kwamba ni vizuri nyumba za maafisa wa polisi ziweze kuwa ni kubwa, ili polisi akipewa transfer
anaenda na familia.
And a beautiful reminder of Pastor Pius Muriu there. How about we take a short break and then we come back with more on that. Don't you go anywhere. Congratulations to them.
Hey there friends, welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Join us as we explore the journeys of those who defy the odds and break barriers. We dive deep into the stories of triumph.
Sometimes when parenting a child with a special need or whatever disability, family life becomes a bit complicated and you may end up raising the child on your own.
Here, we inspire.
I have a farm which one we showcase with other dyslexic youths and autism how to farm.
Motivate.
It's never easy, but what we do, the best thing is to work with another parent who has an elder child than yours.
And break through the barriers one story at a time. Push your boundaries beyond the limit. Saturdays at 8 p.m. The Grind, where business meets brilliance. It's not just about the ideas.
I was working as a shampoo boy. I used to wash clients' hair on the sink.
It's about making them happen. From big wins.
In primary school, when we would be asked what people want to be, I was categorical that I want to be a nurse.
To hard lessons.
The consoles change, the gaming equipment keep changing.
We cover it all. Tune in to The Grind, where every episode is packed with insights.
The person who is serving customers, always be a customer-centric.
Strategies.
When you pay attention to detail, you get luxury items.
And stories to fuel your ambition. Don't just dream it, grind it. Mondays at 7:30 p.m.
Jiunge nasi tunapoangazia safari za viongozi bora. Kutoka kwa ushindi mkubwa hadi masomo magumu.
Wakati wetu kwamba wasichana si wa kusoma, ni wa kuolewa, ng'ombe ipatikane, wazazi wakuwa watajiri.
Tunashughulikia yote.
I wish I were a better investor.
My parents taught me how to look for things for myself.
Tazama Mfahamu Kiongozi, ambapo kila kipindi kimejaa maarifa, mikakati na hadithi za kukuza azma yako.
For me to succeed, I have to fight.
Kila Alhamisi saa 1:30.
Hey there, friends. Welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore.
Thank you for keeping it TV47, and we continue with the weekend edition where political leaders in Vihiga County are urging the Ministry of Interior to deploy Kenya Police Reservists, that is the KPR, in response to a sharp rise in suspected gang violence. The county has witnessed close to 20 murders in less than a year due to ongoing criminal activities. And speaking at the commission of Ekwanda Police Station in Luanda constituency, local leaders including Senator Godfrey Oswoti and Luanda MP Dick Maungu criticized the under-equipped police force, saying it has failed to contain the growing gangs. Western Regional Commissioner Samson Irungu, who attended the meeting, promised swift changes to the county's security structures and additional measures to restore normalcy.
Kuanzia Novemba tumepata kupoteza watu 19 ambao wamekatwa kwa shoka ama panga. Na ni huzuni mkubwa sana kwamba tuko na nchi inayokuwa na amani, tuko na kaunti ambayo iko na amani, lakini watu wanauawa kama kuku hapa hivi area hii. Katika Luanda yetu hii, ofisa wetu hawana vifaa vya kazi, kwa mfano gari. Ukienda kule OCPD, OCS wanatumia gari moja ambayo ina serve area hii wote. Luanda iko na watu takriban 1127. 127,000 people live in Luanda. Na hiyo watu wote wanahudumiwa na gari moja.
Kwa hivyo tuko na shida kubwa. Na mimi kama senator wenyu, hii mambo hata nimepeleka paka kwa Senate. Waziri amekuja huko, ameahidi kwamba watarekebisha hiyo. Lakini bado shida ya usalama iko.
Regional Commission, na kuomba kwa unyenyekevu urudishe ile kitu ilikuwa inaitwa Kenya Police Reserve. Walikuwa napewa bunduki, walikuwa raia hapa ndani ya watu, walikuwa nasaidia mambo ya security, na walikuwa napewa bunduki.
Tumefanya mabadiliko kwa maofisa ya usalama, tumefanya mabadiliko kwa maofisa wetu ya ngao, tutafanya mabadiliko mengi mpaka tuhakikishe tumepata wale maofisa wanafaa. Lakini pia mjue kwamba huyo mhalifu ambaye anatusumbua hapa anaishi wapi? P-box anaishi New York. Hako? Anaishi kwetu Murang'a, sio? Anaishi wapi? Kisumu. Hapa sio? Sasa kama hako ndani yetu, si Waswahili walisema kikuracho kiko wapi? Mbona mnataka kukaa na chawa kwa nguo?
Sports news brought to you by Maybet. Bet bila stake. Predict the outcome of 8 pre-selected games and win up to 100,000 shillings. Only at maybet.com.
And out to sports, starting right here in the country, FKF elections in Turkana County took place earlier today. This is after the elections were postponed on Thursday due to lack of voting papers. And while talking to journalists after being announced Turkana County FKF chairperson, that is William Lukwe, said he will do his best in making sure that football grows in Turkana County. Lukwe will be serving his second term as Turkana FKF chairperson, and Rail Lomoti was elected the woman representative. Rail has promised to as well help in nurturing girls' talents in Turkana. Others who were elected are Duncan Arono as the county treasurer after garnering 10 out of 15 points, while David Loreng was elected the county secretary.
Our dreams in football in the county, our manifesto speaks large and wide on the same, because we are saying we want to enhance grassroots football. We want to come with an umbrella body that will be mandated with the responsibility of taking all the football, the sporting activity in the county, and we want to call it Turkana Sports Association. So that's where we want to bring all the disciplines of the sporting activities in Turkana to bring one umbrella body that will be advocating for sports in Turkana.
I want to take this opportunity to say a big thank you to Almighty God. Tulipanga but pia alikuwa na mipango yake. So for me, kama Rael, Let the Girl Play initiative ilianza 3 years ago, and nataka ku take this opportunity to say a big thank you to all those who voted me in. Inaonesha ninafanya kazi kwa mtoto msichana wa Turkana. So with my initiative, I will keep on working hard, getting more stakeholders, because right now what I'm doing right now, we have a place ambayo tunataka kuwa na academy ya wasichana where we'll nurture talent, and with my initiative ambayo inasema Let the Girl Play initiative, education through sports. So it's for our girls.
Sports news brought to you by Maybets.
Join Maybets leo upate free bet papo hapo. Fanya hivi, chagua home team to win, yani number 1 au draw X au away team 2 kwa game ya siku ya free bet. Weka namba yako ya simu, weka password ya account yako, chagua submit free bet. Utapata free bet kwa account yako ya Maybets. Usisahau kuverify account yako. Kama hutakuwa verified, utapoteza free bet yako after 2 days. Betting is strictly for 18 years and over. Play responsibly. Terms and conditions apply. BCLB number 0000578.
Maybet na minia na najishindia. Pesa inavutia.
And so I had the privilege of having a sitting with Umi Bashir, that is CBS, Principal Secretary in the State Department for Culture, the Arts and Heritage. And of course, tonight she joins us to discuss the progress being made across her ministry. She'll shed light on the steps being taken to advance the rights and the opportunities of marginalized women in Kenya. So don't miss this insightful conversation that we are about to air shortly. Allow us to release our sign language interpreter, that is Kelvin Makori, and we cross over to that conversation. All right, coming to you all the way from County 002, that is Kwale County. Honored to have Honorable Umi Bashir, CBS, who is the Principal Secretary in the State Department for Culture and Heritage in the Ministry of Gender, Culture, Arts and Heritage, of course, in this republic, or the beautiful Republic of Kenya. Perhaps not a new face to you, but a lady who's, gone to levels of making sure that we get the most and the best of our heritage. And that is the story that she brings us today. Mheshimiwa, thank you so much for creating time. Nikuambie karibu Kwale. So here we are, and of course in that celebratory mood, and we're thinking about our heroes. Just how different is it this time round compared to the previous time that we held the Mashujaa Day celebrations?
So previously the heroes would not get medals, they would not get certificates, there would be no rigorous vetting. So it would be who knows who, that's how it used to be. But then we're doing things differently, where we put the advert in the newspaper, and you get all Kenyans to apply. So if I think that you're a hero, I nominate you, and then there'll be calls for objection. Call for objection basically means you go and now counter. If I nominated you, probably there's some sort of integrity issues with you. So now again, you put it back to the public and they decide. So it is there's a vetting committee that decides on that. That aside, this year we are trying our best to activate the fund, the Heroes Fund, that has been inactive since the Act came into place, that is the year 2014. And the purpose of this fund is to empower the heroes so that they can get resources and support, especially the sports heroes, the Mau veterans, and their families. So what we're trying to do is push Treasury and activate this fund so that there are resources in place. Now, aside from that, our heroes have been there, but it came about as Kenyatta Day. Right. What we knew as Kenyatta Day finally changed to what now becomes Mashujaa Day. And Mashujaa Day is all about our heroes, the likes of Paul Ngei, the likes of Achieng' Oneko and Bildad Kagia, Dedan Kimathi, and the likes, Tom Mboya. But now times are changing. Our children, our generation seems to be moving away from that, and their heroes are different people. Their role models are different people. So we're trying as much as possible in the State Department of Culture, Arts and Heritage to inculcate that in the girl child, to inculcate that in the woman in the bottom of the pyramid. We have what we call the Ushanga. Okay. The Ushanga is a bead making process and an initiative under the department where it's basically the beads I'm wearing. Ooh. They're done by our women. Okay. And there are 10 Ushanga counties who we support. Like Kipia, Garissa, and Elgeyo Marakwet joined the counties. There were 7 initially, but last year we added them to be 10 so that we can get to a more wider scale in supporting our women. Where I come from, our Gia County is a county that usually puts men on a pedestal, and the women are normally forgotten. So they have the maslaha system. Mm-hmm. The maslaha system that decides when a girl is raped, a criminal matter is in place, and men get to sit under a tree and decide on behalf of the girl, the victim, the mother, what to do, where the money will go. Like whoever the suspect or the perpetrator would bring 3 goats or 10 goats, and this would go to the man's family and the girl's family, the male, the fathers, the uncles, the brothers, and the mother and the victim, who's the girl, would not be. So it's really sad, but maslaha has been used initially in the past, but now the criminal aspect of it is being misused, where I encourage girls to go to court, families to go to court and not settle things under a tree. Now back to the State Department of Culture, Arts and Heritage. We have the women in Lamu. They do these beautiful, beautiful kofias. The kofias usually are mistaken to be done by men. Right. They're actually sewn by the ladies. And it takes them close to 5 months, 4 months to finish one kofia because it's handmade. Yeah. So at the end of the day, the broker or the man will come to Nairobi, sell it for 45 to 50,000 Kenya shillings, while she gets 5,000 to 6,000 Kenya shillings. So it is time for our women to wake up and join these cooperatives that we have across the country. And we work with the county governments to ensure that we support these women, that we protect them so that they make a livelihood, they have food on their table, and we implement the bottom-up economic transformation agenda.
Beautiful. Definitely you sitting under the heritage space, just how then does this get to influence the element of recognition of our heroes?
So we try to balance it out. You see, there are different categories in the Heroes Act. The first schedule talks about 14 categories, whereby we have environmentalists, we have human rights heroes, we have sports heroes, we have philanthropists, we have statesmanship, we have education like researchers, we have indigenous and cultural heroes, and so on. So out of this, we make sure that we observe the 2/3 gender rule, always. So we always put that at the back of our mind because the National Heroes Council is a saga under the State Department of Culture, Arts and Heritage. And being at the helm of the State Department, I always tend to lean towards the women. And I think it's a good thing when women are given such positions. And at the end of the day, when we give the call of no objections back to the communities, they always tend to go more for ladies, funny enough. So we balance it out, and the woman is not at the losing end. Always we're at the winning end of this equation when it comes to awarding our heroes. Yeah.
Right, so here we are, and we're in Kwale County. How unique for the people of Kwale this time round?
Yeah, you know, the good thing about going round to the counties is that we develop and we empower different people in different counties. Last year, Mashujaa, we were in Kericho County. And the women there were telling me they have made so many cells from the kamba carvings, the kisi soapstones, the products that they make, and even the ushanga. What happens is when you come to those counties, you leave money there, be it the hotel industry, be it the restaurants, be it the tuk-tuk, like Kwale where we are, the tuk-tuk business is booming because now people are getting money. And imagine going to a place like Turkana and having Mashujaa Day there. It will be epic because it was not there before, in the sense that it's thanks to devolution. Devolution is what is making things change. And for us as a State Department, we have the museums. We have 35 museums and 401 sites and monuments across the country. So we try as much as possible to employ ladies so that they can make a living out for themselves. The curators in most of these museums are ladies, like the one in Malindi. We have the one in Mombasa for Jesus. We have ladies, so we try to empower them. And that aside, it's good to note I'm the only Muslim lady in the executive as a PS and also the CS. So sometimes I'm drawn towards minorities and I'm drawn towards empowering the people of the North and also the pastoralist community, because most of the time it is us who are sidelined in terms of education. It is us who are left behind in terms of empowerment. So where I am, it gives me an opportunity to empower the girl child, to empower not only the people where I come from, but across Kenya. I was in West Pokot the other day, and a lady there was trying to sell me a beadwork for 200 shillings. You know, I gave her more, and she was so shocked and so impressed. And I told her, your worth should always be very high. If someone is not buying, they might as well go. But she told me, you see, I need this money. At the end of the day, I need to eat. So we're coming up with a solution for that, for the market issue that we have for our products. It's called the Sana e-commerce platform. It's a marketing platform where you sell products. You can sell products all the way from Marsabit. It's online. You sell to someone in Kisumu, you sell to someone in Tanzania. And this is a product that we are very proud of as a State Department because it is an online platform. It's got linkages to eBay, to Amazon. It is a platform where there's no middleman. So the money comes to your pocket, which is what we have been campaigning on as the Kenya Kwanza government, and it is what we want. We want pesa mfukoni. So as a State Department, yeah, exactly.
So when we're talking about the celebrations, always going to different counties and always have the same calendar set, and it's very clear that this is going to certain counties. Are there any arrangements or special arrangements to make sure that then there are persons within this community that are facing?
Yeah, yeah. That actually it's very important because we have a steering committee. The steering committee comprises of State Department of Interior, Ministry of Interior under the State Department of Interior, whereby Interior takes charge in terms of all the national celebrations. We have the PS for devolution. The State Department of Devolution now comes in, it's plugged in terms of the counties. We have different, like myself, the State Department of Culture, Arts and Heritage, we are plugged in terms of music. The creative economy, where we have the dancers, the artists. So the kids who perform, the singers who perform in those particular counties, like Mzengala, for instance, we get this local talent from where we are. So when we were in Kericho, we used the artists from Kericho so that we empower them. The children, the dancers, all these are gotten from that county. Same for Kwale. We're empowering the people of Kwale in terms of music, in terms of arts, in terms of acrobats. and performing arts too.
Number has reduced from last year. Naturally, we'd expect for it to go higher. Why that reduction, though not by a huge gap?
That's a good question, and thank you for noticing that. You know, we want it to have value. You know, we don't want to be giving 1,000 people for the sake of it. We want it to be rare. You know, what is rare is always golden. So we're trying for it to be, to reduce the numbers so that there's value addition to it. So that by next year, if we come back to 130, it's nothing to do with favorism or anything. It's more to do with the unique substance.
Okay, so here we are, and we are talking about heritage, we're talking about culture, and how we get to build that, and how we get to synchronize all this for the benefit of the country. How then do you suppose that, you know, the culture and heritage aspect plays to the element of recognizing the heroes, and in terms of how the three would then sink in to make sure that then we have a best of society?
Yeah. So first of all, it is important that we inculcate patriotism in our children from a young age. And we do this through our cultures and practicing our local dialect, and especially speaking Kiswahili to our children. Our culture is our identity. If we have no culture, we have failed as a society. People come to our country to celebrate and learn our cultures, eat our foods and see our gastronomy. If it's about 7-star hotels, they can go to Dubai, they can go to Miami, but they come here for the cultural aspect of it, to dance with the Maasai, to eat our fish in Kisumu, to come to the Swahili side of Mombasa and taste the cuisines and so on. So what we try to do as a State Department is inculcate an aspect of pride in our children and also Kenyans. That's why during the national celebration periods and days, we are at the center of it. Mashujaa Day, Jamhuri Day, when it comes to music, it is us. When it comes to choosing and picking the heroes, it is us. But you see, it is a one government approach. So it is a plug and play, where the Ministry of Interior comes in, devolution comes in, water, lands, because in fact, infrastructural development is what the counties are benefiting from all this. The stadiums are constructed, they're refurbished. Places where we never thought this would happen, like northern Kenya. We're hopeful that one day we will have Mashujaa Day in Mandera County, for instance. Right. It's part of Kenya, right? Mm-hmm. So the fact that we're in Kwale, it's historic and it's epic. And the governor the other day, I was with her and she was very excited about it, about tomorrow being the Eat Day. And she's been planning, and we've been working together with her as a steering committee. So for us, the heritage side, the art side, the culture side, all this, we nurture it through partnerships with the county governments, development partners, and also showcasing through exhibitions. Right. Yeah, showcasing through exhibitions and taking our women all the way internationally. We took them to Berlin the other day to showcase in the Burgerfest cultural festival, to sell their products in the Paris Olympics. We took them there. We took them to Dubai. You know, we are thinking of a big dream of our women being empowered, not just locally, but also internationally.
Beautiful. And when you speak about that, and I know most of the heroes then would want to understand what next after that, how much more do I get to benefit beyond this? Now, when you speak about such programs, then it is something that is actually worth celebrating. So that's a recognition, as well as, you know, individuals that would probably feel like they are, you know, lesser known in terms of their being cultural heroes and all that. What are you doing to make sure that, like you say, everybody else is incorporated and they are well aware of what it takes to be incorporated?
Yeah. So say, for instance, you have been awarded a hero for indigenous cultural practices. Yeah. This gives you an opportunity of accessing all our centers, like the Huduma centers. You have the national museums, the parks, the wildlife parks, and not pay as much as any other person who's not a hero pays. We are now pushing that agenda in partnership and in conjunction with the other state departments, because we cannot do it alone. So it is something that when I become a hero, we don't want the award to end right there. Having a medal and a certificate, it shouldn't stop with that. It should be more to that. If I go Like for instance, now the Kwale heroes who we chose last year are the ones who are the epicenter of the Mashujas of this year, because now they're guiding and telling them the story of what they've benefited from.
Extending the benefits to society.
Exactly, because now society benefits in that, listen, I'm a hero, and they come together and they come to the Heroes Council, and we support them wherever we can. And what we are now pushing for, which is very important for us, is the fund. Once the fund is up and active, that is a place where now our heroes will benefit.
Okay. All right, views. And so there's perhaps a form in which then there's documentation, and especially for those ones that are in the marginalized area.
Oh yes, definitely. So why we call for a call of no objection, and for that transparency to be there, we have no gaps in making mistakes. So when you're a hero, you are indeed a hero. So the theme for this year is Boma Langu, Nyumba Yangu, Mimi ni Shujaa. Yes, and our main focus is on our affordable housing aspect of the national government, which we are moving from. Last year it was health. Right. So we keep changing so that the whole of Kenya feels what we are doing as a national government.
Beautiful. And what does the future look like? I know most of the Kenyans would say we probably have beautiful ideas that we can sell to government for them to understand how best we can feed our heroes and how best we can get to appreciate them. What does the future look like? What are the plans for making this process even better? And how can the views of the Kenyans be incorporated in that?
Yeah, we're looking at a situation whereby a hero will walk into a room and they'll be recognized without even introducing themselves. The Uhuru Gardens, for instance, we have a hero square at the Uhuru Gardens, and once that is opened, you will find the names of our heroes. All these names will be there. So imagine your name being inscribed as a hero in the hero square at the Uhuru Gardens. That's historic and it's epic. And it's never happened before. So these are some of the future plans that we have. A card of sorts is also another thing, more like the DL, the driving license, your identity card, the Huduma number card, which will now have an aspect of different coloring in terms of what hero you are. So it encourages us, if I'm getting those kind of benefits, if I'm walking through a national park for free, if I'm going to visit the museum for free, I would love to become a hero like you. So it becomes a sense of, if you can become a hero, then I can become a hero. So you become a better Kenyan, more patriotic, more giving, more kind, and more of an environmental conservatist, so to speak.
All right, as we come to a close, just how much are we investing or getting ourselves into the space of partnership, especially with, say, the cultural organizations, you know, within and sometimes without. And I know you've spoken about even sending these women to Berlin or to Dubai just so they can explore. How much are we extending that in terms of even involving the private sector?
Yeah, so we've had partnerships before. We've had Unilever partner with us in what we call the Kenyan dress. That was the year 2004. But as we speak, we have now gone further into deep partnerships, especially on cultural matters, with UNESCO. We have development partners. We have, what do you call it? We have the embassies themselves. We are having serious MOUs and agreements between ourselves and different embassies. So for especially the museum, we have exhibition exchange programs whereby the Oman, for instance, have a part of our museum where they exhibit and showcase the different cultures, and the same for us in the museums in Oman. So the same for cultural practices. So for us, our heroes don't just end here. Our women are also serious heroes in this world. Being a mother, being a breadwinner sometimes, looking for livelihoods and being at the top of your game is not an easy thing. So what we do is empower these women by giving them a platform to showcase and sell their products. Like right now at the Sekenani Gate in Narok County, we're coming up with a state-of-the-art curio mall where our women who sell the ushangas don't have to run after the tourists when it's raining, when it's sunny, and try to sell them through the van's window. But we're coming up with a state-of-the-art mall where there's a dignified environment for our women to sit down, sell, and the tourists can walk in, park their vans, come in, have a cup of tea, and buy the products and experience the Kenyan story of the Maasai women.
Beautiful. Mheshimiwa, thank you so much for speaking to us. As we come to a close, I want you to look at that camera and speak to the Kenyans today. There's been this feeling that we don't celebrate our own as should be. there's been this feeling that those ones that are related to those ones that will be considered heroes do not get to enjoy the benefit of this. I had a sitting the last time with the daughter of fallen hero Dedan Kimathi. She says that sometimes she is not proud being associated with that name because, well, she does not get to enjoy much in terms of all that. Would you please speak to the Kenyans and assure them that moving forward, perhaps this feeling that our heroes are not being celebrated as should be is slowly becoming a game of the past?
Our heroes are of utmost importance to us as a national government. The National Heroes Act of 2014 will support and ensure that the fund is activated, because without our heroes, without our Kenyan heritage and our story, we would not be celebrating Mashujaa Day today. And thanks to our past heroes, we as a State Department promise to ensure that the fund is activated so that relatives and family members of our past heroes who are celebrated in this country benefit.
Honorable Umi Bashir, CBS, the Principal Secretary in the State Department for Culture and Heritage in the Ministry of Gender, Culture and the Arts and Heritage in the Republic of Kenya. Asante sana for speaking to us as well. Back to you, appreciating you and equally saying that we wish you nothing but the best.